In this video, we're going to look at using the HighLine library available for Ruby to do some input. And what the HighLine library does, it adds some extra features on your console input so you can ask questions and do some validation. You can also do some coloring, ANSI coloring on your terminal screen. And I'll just show you a few of the demo programs that come with the library when you install it. To actually install it, we do a sudo gem install and then HighLine, and I already have it installed on this machine, but that's the command, and you give it the password and it'll go ahead and install it. It's pretty simple from there. We of course can look at HighLine, do RI, and just to have it, you see it's camel case when you spell out HighLine for the class, and there it gets you the documentation, and it does a few things. If you want to look at specific methods, there's the ask method, and you also, if you didn't know it, you have available documentation. If we go to wherever your gems are stored on this machine, they're stored in this place right here. So now it's not being cooperative at the moment, but I can do it this way. There's the path where these files are located. So it's user local lib ruby gems 1.8, and then that gets us to this folder. If we look in the documentation, you'll see all of the gems that are installed. I can go into HighLine here. I can go to the rdoc folder, and here's the HTML based rdocs, and I can go in here and open up on the other screen. Sorry about that. And this describes a little bit of what HighLine does, and it deals with the tedious tasks of doing console input and output. Instead of using the gets and puts, you're using more of their methods, which are ask and say, but it gives you a lot more options. You can actually do validations, those types of things. You can see even here you can do passwords, that type of stuff. You can do coloring using their ANSI tools. You can actually set up menus. So let's look at a few of those things real quick here. So back in this folder, if we back out here to where the gems are, if we go into where the actual gem is installed and go down to HighLine. So let me show you the path here now. Never sure why this works. I guess it's smart enough to know what that command is there. That's pretty impressive when you think about it. Anyway, so now we're in user local lib ruby gems 1.8 gems, and then in HighLine, and you'll see in here there's an example folder. Now this isn't always the case with gems, that there's a examples folder, but this one is a pretty good gem where they actually include some examples. So I've copied those examples into the working files here, the couple that really show what this is capable of. So the first one is just a simple using read line. In order to use it, you have to do these two requires at the beginning of your script, and note that it's HighLine/import, not just HighLine. Here we have a simple loop construct that just asks, enter a command, save, load, reset, or quit, and it just reads, continue reads. And you notice that the method is ask. Here's the text that's put in here, and then here's the validation part of it. So it's going to sit and look for one of these until it gets one, and then it's going to say executing that, and it'll break out of the loop if it's quit, if command is quit. Otherwise, it's going to just exit out of there. Notice that command gets set to the output of this structure here, so you got to be a little bit careful about how you view this and see that this is a structure here. This is a block structure. So let's go ahead and run that one real quick. So I'll enter a question mark, and it'll tell me you must enter one of the commands. So I can say save, and it says executing save, load, and then if I type quit, it'll quit it. So that's a simple example, and you can see how nice it is that it's looking to validate that and say, hey, you got to enter one of these. Now let's look at the colors. You actually can have different colored text. Maybe you didn't know that, but most terminals on Linux and Mac OS X support colors. So let's run that program real quick here. And you can see it gives you some nice colored text there. And the last one I wanted to look at is menus. So you can actually create menus using this menu method that they have. So you go in here and you basically set up your menu prompt and give it your choices, and that's essentially a block structure that you've got going there. And let's run that one real quick here. So you can see how that works really nice. So that's using the HighLine library for console I/O on Ruby.